So what do you do when you need to learn a song but there is no guitar part in the song? Let's find out.
Tell me, if Venus blow your mind, was it everything you wanted to find? Did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there?
Hey Guitar Fam, how's it going? It's Nate here, and this video we're going to take a look at the Train song Drops of Jupiter. And I wanted to do this song because I know it's super popular. I've had some requests for it, but I started listening to it and I was like, there's no guitar in here. So that got me thinking, okay, this is a good opportunity to show or see what you do when there is not a guitar part for you to learn. And most of the time, there's going to be two ways you can think about this. You can either think, okay, I'm just going to match whatever the drummer is doing. Because a lot of times an acoustic guitar's job is to just harmonize or put chords to whatever the drummer is doing. It's very percussive, right? But sometimes if there's a really specific part, like in this part, the piano takes the lead and it's pretty specific. That's what I think of when I hear this song. I think that piano and the singer's voice, right? So I want to kind of mimic that as best I can and come up with acoustic parts that are very reminiscent of that, so the feel for the song is correct. So I'm just going to walk you through and show you what I would do if this were me having to come up, like, say, for a cover band for the song. If Chelsea wanted to do this at a cover gig that we had, and it was just me and her playing guitar or something like that. And you're going to notice that I'm mimicking the piano a lot with all the different chord embellishments and some of the rhythm. You don't have to play like that. You can straighten out the rhythm a little bit, make it simpler, take the chord embellishments out. I'll talk more about that as we get into this. And just take it one chunk at a time. Just get the strumming down and the bass chords, like the C's, F's, and G's, you know, all those things. And then once you can play that, then put the accents in, and then put the chords embellishments in, like the, you know, C sus2, C sus4, F6, all those types of things. Okay, before we get into this, if you haven't yet, go to guitarfam.com and create your complimentary account. You'll get access to all the resources for this lesson and lots more, you know, the jam tracks and the tabs. But you will also get one personal, private, one-on-one lesson with me. Anybody with a Guitar Fam account, the first lesson is complimentary. So do that, book it today. Let's get into it. All right, we're in the key of C major at 79 beats per minute. Chords in the key of C are C major, D minor, E minor, F major, 5 is G major, 6 is A minor, and then we have a B diminished for a 7. There are a lot of chords in this song when we use almost all the diatonic chords. And yeah, there are a lot of songs, but there are a lot of just variations on just a handful of chords. So for example, there's some variations on C. You need to open C major. You also need a C sus4, so let your index finger come down on the first fret of the high E string. That'll give you your C sus4. Everything else remains intact from the C. Then you need a C sus2 as well, so regular C, take your middle finger off. And then you need just a regular C with an E in the bass, so just play a C and leave the open E string, let that ring out. Okay, next major chord is a G major, but you also need a G6. And I'm using the 4-finger version of a G for this song because it fits the style and it helps with the parts that I came up with to kind of mimic the piano. So G, 4-finger G, and then you take your 4th finger off of the high E string, your pinky off, to get a G6 chord. And those are the two main G chords that we'll be using for this song. Next kind of category of chords is an F. Sometimes you use an F bar chord. Most of the time I use just this partial F, and you'll see why here, because there are a lot of other variations on this F, where you're barring the top 2 strings of the index finger. I have an F sus2, take your middle finger off. That's the main reason, because we can't have that barred on the first fret. We need that open to get an F sus2. And then if you put an F on again, if you put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string, you end up with an F6. You need that too. The last F you need is an F major sharp 11. Or you can think of it as sharp 4 chord, right? But that one is only used once, and the song is quite a stretch too. So if I flatten my hand out a little bit, it helps me reach that between a regular F and that F sharp 4. All right, next is just an A power chord. We have a D, along with a D minor. Okay, C, D. So the D is non-diatonic. The D minor is in the key of C major, so that fits. Next, we have a B flat major, another non-diatonic chord. And I believe that's it. The only other thing we really have are an F power chord and then an F sharp power chord as well. All right, let's get into these parts. If you're more of a beginner or just want to keep it simple and not get bogged down by all the parts that I wrote out for this, what you can do is just follow the strumming patterns and kind of forget all the embellishment chords. So for example, if you look at the first measure of the intro, it's this, right? You can just get rid of that C sus4 and just play down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And one thing that I should mention here is I'm playing that, I'm hearing swung 16th notes. So instead of just playing 1, you got to swing your 16th notes. And this might be the hardest part of the song if you've never done this before. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I need 1 and 2. Okay, so that's the main thing that you need to be aware of as far as the rhythm parts. Simplify the chords if you need to. So play just C for that whole first measure. And like if you look at the next measure, it's the G and with the G6 kind of thrown in there. Get rid of the G6 if you're not ready for that yet. And keep the strumming simple. I have accents here quite a bit throughout the song just because I was trying to mimic what the piano was doing. But if, like, you know, before you throw all that stuff in, the chord embellishments, the accents, just get the strumming patterns down with the chord progressions and that'll be a good place to start. So, for example, that strumming pattern is almost the exact strumming pattern for all 4 measures of the intro. So it's just C for that. So that's the way I would look at that. If you're just getting into the song, you just want to, you know, get it and play. If you want to dress it up, what I'm doing here is first off, I'm accenting. I have on the 1, just a downstroke on the 1, and then on beat 2 we move to 16th notes, and I'm accenting the 2, and then you have 3 E, and then and the downstroke on 3 on and of 3 is accented, and then the E of 4 is accented. So that's something I would get down on its own first without even thinking about switching chords. So, and that's the kind of the theme or the shape of the strumming patterns that the piano is doing throughout the song. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and okay, and if you can't do the accents yet, that's fine. Just do this. Okay, now the only thing left to add in here for the C, the measure of C, is the C sus4 on the E of 4. So E and a upstroke, and that gives you a feel that's a lot like what the piano is doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then you switch to a G, and this exact same idea, same accent, same strumming pattern, same everything. But for the G on the E of 4, you switch from a G to a G6. So just take your pinky off. Okay, and in context, it's a little weird, but once you put the whole thing together, you can really feel the ebb and flow of each measure. Same thing in the next measure. So you have an F, and I'm using this for 4-string F. Same exact strumming pattern, same accents on the 2, on the and of 3, and then on the E of 4 there. So now the chord changes in a different spot here to an F sus2. Okay, so you're going to change on the and of 3. So and that's what you're going to do for the F. It's much easier to hear it and kind of copy it than it is to talk about it. So I'll play the first 3 measures, and the intro is the same as the verse 1 and 2, the first part of verse 1 and 2. So once you have the intro learned this part, then you can play the verses too, or most of the verses. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and and from here, you go to the next measure, and it looks a little different as far as the strumming, but it's really the same. I'm just carrying that F sus2 over to the 1, and as soon as I hit it, I hammer on with my middle finger to make an F chord, and that's just a little decoration. And then you finish the measure the same way. And this time you hit an F6 on the E of the 4 on that upstroke with an accent to finish it off. So these first 4 measures are really pretty much all the same as far as strumming patterns, accents. There's a little bit of variation on when the chords are embellished as far as the beats, and you have that little hammer on the 4th measure from that F sus2 going to the F. And that last little F6 reverts back to on the E of 4 going. Then up, down, up, F6, pinky down on the 3rd fret of the B string. So this, I would get this chunk down really well because it's a good chunk of the whole song. Let me just play it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that is the intro. Play it once, and then you go right into verse 1, where you'll see those 4 measures. Again, you just play them twice, and that takes care of about 2/3 of the first verse. Now, the last third of verse 1 starts off the same way with your C. G. From here, the rhythm changes a little bit because the piano changes things up to go into the chord. So you're still going to an F on 1, and then you have 6 16th notes on that F. And the accents are in the same place. And then you, on the 7th 16th note, which is an 8th note there, I just switch to an F2. And then next 8th note, back to an F, and then down up for 2 16th notes. Much easier to let you hear what it sounds like than explain it to you. So I just think of it as F on the 1, then 6 16th notes on our F with the accents in the same spot, then F sus2, F, and then 2 more Fs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if you listen to the piano, just listen to the song over and over again. This is exactly kind of what's going on with the whole feel for the piano. So it's easier to play if you can get that in your brain. Next measure, you switch to an F sus2, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8 notes that are staccato, so you're going to do them all downstrokes, and then mute. You do that 6 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the last time, you do it again, but it's a quick down, up, 2 16th notes, or a 16th note and a dotted 8th note to an F. And that is the part right before going in to the chorus. So that last measure of F. Okay, now let me just go ahead and play, I'll play that whole verse for you so you can get a feel for it. So this is that first phrase twice, and then the last 4 bars once. Here you go. Okay, and that leads you into Tell Me. And you go to a G, and you have kind of a similar strumming pattern. The first 3 beats are similar anyways. So just a G, 4 finger. So down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And on beat 4, on 4E, you have a really quick change. So down on 4, A power chord on E. Okay, that lasts throughout the rest of beat 4. So, and you'll hear this in the piano and the whole band kind of kicking in. After chorus 2, the whole band, whenever a chorus comes in after that, you'll hear it too. Next measure, D, same idea, same rhythm. This time on the E of 4, we're going to go to C over E. Okay, so D, here it is, 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. Okay. All right, after you play that measure, the next two measures are probably the most irregular and that would give me the most trouble as far as getting it in my head. So it's really good to just kind of isolate this and really listen to what the piano and drums are doing. But here's the rhythm I came up with for this. Downstroke on 1. It takes up the whole measure. And then you have 2, 3, and for that F. And then go to F sus2. Then back to F on beat 3. On the and a 3, another downstroke on F sus2 though, and then on 4, F sus2, upstroke E, and then so again, it's a lot easier to hear it than it is for me to explain it to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, after that you have a measure of C, and this one's a bit irregular too. So just listen to it a lot. And you don't have to play exactly what I'm playing here, but this is what I felt fit best what the piano player is doing right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's going on here is just down, up on a C on beat 1, and then down on and, but C sus2. Back to C, down on 2, and then up on of 2. And then on beat 3, it gets a little straighter. You just do C sus2, and then on 4, back to a C on E with an upstroke. So that one's a little convoluted, so it's much easier to just. And you'll hear it in the piano. Let me play those last two measures for you all together, starting on that F, because these are a little bit weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the next two bars are almost the exact same as the first two of the chorus, so a little simpler, actually. So you play the G, same as the first bar of the chorus. Next is almost just like the second bar of the chorus. Go to a D, but this time you don't jump to that C over E real quick. You just play straight 16th notes for the entire 2 beats, 2, 3, and 4. And after that, this kind of wraps up the chorus. These next two measures. This is D minor for one measure, and you just play 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on and you go to a C over E, and then an F for the next measure. Just hold that out for the whole thing. Okay, so this one is a little bit odd. Again, the third and fourth measures of the chorus did take me a while to get down just to get in my head. But once you got it in your head, I can hear it and kind of sing the rhythm. It made it a lot easier. Let me play the whole chorus for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the whole chorus. It's very similar to what goes on the next chorus. So once you get the chorus down, it's just little tweaks on the following ones. From there, you just do the re-intro again, so nothing new. Okay, then you do that again, that 4-bar phrase twice for verse 2. And then again, the last third of verse 2 is a little bit different. It starts off the same way. Let's look at the last 4 bars of verse 2. It starts off the same way, like I said. And now you get to this thing like this. To build you up into the chorus. So what you're doing is playing, let's see, 4 eighth notes on an F on measures 31. You'll see there it starts there. So but they're choked. They're all accented and choked. And then you switch to an F, major sharp 11 or sharp 4, pinky down on the 4th fret of the G string, choke those two, and then hit just a normal F on beat 4. Let it ring out. And then you can just go back to an F chord for the next measure, just build it up. 3 8th notes, and then the rest of the measure, 16 notes. Right? So let me play those two measures for you. All right, that gets us into course 2, which is almost, most of it is identical to course 1. So you just play along. And here's where it changes a little bit because we're about to kind of drive into the bridge. Instead of doing just quarter notes for the D minor, we play one quarter note and then we kind of we build it up with 16th notes until the E of 4, where we go to a C over D. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then next measure, you just go to an F, one quarter note, then 3 beats of 16th notes. And build it up a little bit, crescendo into the bridge of the song. So those last 2 measures of course 2, a little bit different, not too bad though. So okay, from there we get into the bridge, which is very regular, but it's a little bit of a different part. You start on a C sus2, and that's the part. So you have kind of the same accents. You're accenting the 1, the of 1, the and of 3, and the E of 4. Again, it's easier. Again, it's easier to hear when I'm playing than to describe it. But the cool thing here is the accents and the chord changes are on the same beat. So, and if you look at it, every third 16th note is accented, and that's where the chord changes happen too. So you start on a C sus2, play 3 16th notes, and then switch to a C. 3 more 16th notes. C sus2, back to a C, 3 more, and then on 4, I just hit a quarter note. So that's the idea and the main rhythm for the majority of the bridge part. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, you go to a G, and it's the same idea. Same accent, same strumming pattern, everything, but you're switching between a G and a G6. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And now, no, that's not the counting as far as the notes. That's just the number of, strums you have. So all while still swinging your 16th notes, right? And the next 2 measures just are on an F. It starts on F6 and it goes to an F really quickly. So what I'm doing there is for the first 16th note, I have an F6 on, and then switch to an F, normal F, on the E of beat 1. So 1, E, and then 2, I have nothing. Don't have a downstroke there. Take that downstroke out, and then just finish the measure for 16th notes on that F. So next measure is the exact same. And that's the main part for the bridge of the song. This is 2/3 of the bridge. So play that 4-bar phrase twice. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do what I did there on that last F. Don't hit the A string. You want to mute that A string as you're playing it. Right. Okay, the last 4 measures of the bridge start off the same way. C and then a G. G. From there, you just go to a B flat for 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then an F in the next measure for a dotted half note or 3 beats. And then on beat 4, I just play. You could play an F, like you can, since it's already there, you can do an F power chord on 4, and then an E. I'd slide up to an F sharp power chord. So those last 2 measures of the bridge: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3. And that gets you into chorus 3, which is almost just like the other courses. It ends a little bit different, but it starts with a down chorus, so maybe play a little quieter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Starts now, the third phrase here, the last third of it, starts off the same way again. Now, in that measure of D, measure 54 there, it's just 1 quarter note of D, and then finish the rest of the measure with 16 notes. Then same rhythm in the next measure. So D, D minor, then go to an F, and it's almost the exact same thing. You just stop on 4. Just mute everything on 4 because the whole band stops. So let me play those last 4 measures of chorus 3 so you can get an idea of what it feels like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes into the da na na, and all you're gonna do is a straight, well, it's swung, but all 16th notes with accents on every third 16th note. It's kind of similar to the bridge. You just don't have the quarter note on beat 4, so you just have on beat 4 you have 4 quarter notes there right in a row, and that kind of breaks your accents up instead of having just a quarter note there like we did in the bridge. So same rhythm for the G in the next measure, switching between G and G6. And here's one little part that's the same. That one doesn't change. The F6 to the F doesn't change from the bridge. So for the outro, you do that twice, just like you did at the bridge. And then you start it kind of the same way for the last third of the outro. But when you get to 4E, you have 2 G's on 4E, and then on you have an F over A. So you just play an F on top and include your A string. And then for the next measure, you go to B flat for a full measure of B flat with just 8 notes, so all downstrokes. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and F, and on an F, and just let it ring out. So those last 4 measures of the outro bridge will be this: 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's it for this one. I know this one's a little bit more complicated than some of the other strumming things we do here on the channel, but it's a really good exercise in how to kind of convert a piano song to the guitar. And you don't have to play exactly what I was playing here. If you need to simplify it and get rid of the chord embellishments and the accents, do that first. Then go back and add the chord embellishments. And then go back and add the accents. Just do what you can to get through the whole song first, and then dress it up as much as you want. Okay, here's the full run through of the song. Don't forget to go to guitarfam.com and create your complimentary account and book that first private one-on-one lesson with me. The first one's free. See ya.